Welcome back to Muscle Car Syndicate. This is Mike behind the camera, and this is my 1970 Dodge Challenger. Today we're going to walk around it and find out what makes it special. So I briefly showed this car in a video 3 or 4 weeks ago when I did one on this 1970 Challenger TA. So this is my 1970 Challenger, non-RT. JH23 is the VIN, that's your base Challenger. But this does have the N code 335 horse 383. Or at least that's what I've read the horsepower is. I've seen 330, some other things, but I say 335 horse because if it had a 4-speed behind it like this car did from the factory, then it would have had the higher horsepower rating than if it had an automatic, or if it had air conditioning, then the engine would have been painted blue. It would have had a Carter carburetor, but being the 4-speed, it had the Holley carburetor, had the same parts as the Magnum 383. They just called it a 383 4-barrel on the fender instead of having the sport hood with the 383 Magnum right there. Maybe you guys can help me understand why somebody went out of their way to make this, effectively, a Challenger RT, but they didn't check JS23. So it has this, what would have been standard on an RT, the Rally Dash. Someone had to order that. They added the pistol grip 4-speed. That was not standard. That would have been a 3-speed for the 383. Then you had an option to a 4-speed anyways. But the N code 383, that was the largest engine you could get in a JH23. So, go under the hood here real quick. This is far from stock, but that is a 1969 cast 383 that has no stamps on it. Above the pad above the pan rail on the passenger side is not stamped. I don't know if it's a warranty block. I'm not sure what the deal is. But you can see that they ordered 3-speed wipers. That's on the fender tag. No power brakes, no power steering. As you saw, it's a 4-speed car. It has a 323 open 8 3/4 in it. I have a 323 sure grip to go in there eventually. So no power brakes. I didn't put discs on it. This is a drum brake car. This engine's been warmed up a little bit. It's no like crazy horsepower piece by any means, but it sounds good and it does the part. So it ought to be great. Now it is a factory Plum Crazy car. Someone started doing some body work at one point. I just did this sanding the other day just to see how rough this clear is going to sand. So I don't think I can get it on camera, but it is quite wavy. So we're going to start over, and that's how I got the car. Hopefully I can have it all one color coming up this summer. It should not have a passenger side mirror at all per the fender tag, and it shouldn't have racing mirrors, painted racing mirrors. These are also 1971 pieces. They have the longer post or the mount. It should have just a single driver's side chrome mirror. Maybe see a shot of that white interior. This is a 70 specific thing here. The script being molded into the dash in 71 and up. It's like a rectangular piece with Challenger stamped in it, or however they did that, I'm not sure. Just the standard steering wheel. Flip top gas cap. Again, I'm not sure if this is only available on RTs or all Challengers. It would have a locking gas cap underneath. This one has some aftermarket kind of a pain in the butt to get off, so I just leave it in the trunk for right now because it's not being driven. Spoiler is not original. That deck lid's from AMD. I have the original deck lid, but it needs some work. Again, the sport hood with hood pins is not original. It would have been a flat hood. It would have had an argent painted grille. So yeah, we'll get a look at it. That's the original style locking gas cap, and if you can find one of those, they are quite pricey. So yeah, why do you think somebody built this car? Was it to circumvent insurance? Was it because mom and dad were help footing the bill and they didn't want him to have a flashy race car, quote unquote? And some kid knew how to do it? Did the dealer just do it? Like, hey, let's just throw a 4-barrel 383 and a 4-speed in this car and see what happens. Now this is a Los Angeles assembly plant car, so I'll probably never find a build sheet, like 99.9999% sure that one will not turn up for this car because the Los Angeles assembly plant had a no trash policy, unlike Hamtramck, where guys have found upwards of 5 build sheets in one car. Not always for theirs, but hell, there's guys that find 3 and none of them for their car. So it'd be interesting to know why this car was built, supposedly one of 457 assembled, in this configuration, being a 4-barrel 383 with a 4-speed. There you can see some numbers there. It's just very interesting to me. It's kind of like a wolf in sheep's clothing. I love it. This is my all-time favorite color combination for a 70 Challenger. If I could walk into a dealership, it is 1969. I'm going to order this brand new for 70 Challenger. It's the only new car coming out for 1970 for all the big 3. So I was going to sit down, if I had the opportunity, I had the money, I would order a 1970 Challenger RTSE, Plum Crazy Purple, white interior, white top, and white side stripe. But I want a 446 pack with a 4-speed and super track pack, a 410 Dana. But I'm not going to get that option, so this is as close as I get. Now this car, being a 383, a 4-barrel 383, also had N41 dual exhaust, but no N42 bright tips. So this has the smooth rear valance. It's off because I had to pull the fuel tank a few months ago. Smooth rear valance and turn down tips, and that's also a California thing. California, you couldn't have duals out the back because it didn't pass drive-by noise requirements. So I don't know if this car is sold new in California, if it was just built at the assembly plant in California. I'm not sure what happened with it because the trail goes cold about 3 owners back. The person had passed away. I don't know how it got from the West Coast to Iowa. I know that a gal who owned it so many owners ago, she daily drove this thing from the 80s up into the early 2000s. So pretty neat that happened. I can only imagine a Plum Crazy Purple Challenger driving up and down the roads every day. You just don't see that anymore. But I would love to drive this car. I want it all one color. I am toying with the idea of putting the white stripe on the back. So let me know your thoughts on the car. I have some shorts of it running if you want to hear it running. I'm not going to start it in here. Number one, I don't have a battery in it. I don't want to stink it up in here because I'm getting ready to work in here. I'm start pulling the emblems, the marker lights, the door panels, door handles, the mirrors, stuff like that off of it so I can keep sanding, have no obstacles. I am going to fill these 3 holes over here. For whatever reason, whoever did this didn't drill holes in the driver's fender for the 383 4-barrel emblem. Because these are aftermarket fenders. You can see there is no antenna hole in the fender. I know it's not filled because I looked up in there, just like it is on the TA, but the TA, they're on the back because of the fiberglass hood. Well, if you like what you see, please hit subscribe, share, comment, like, tell your friends. The page has been doing really well, and I thank everyone that's been making that happen. It's grown, it's grown quite a bit just in the last month and a half since I posted the Torino video. It's not something I thought would have happened, but it's people like you who are watching that are making that happen, who are watching all the way to the end. I know it's not the most prim and proper video. They're not polished. Editing's terrible. But I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional. I'm not here trying to make money. I just want you guys to see stuff that isn't right next door to you or that you can go down to your local car show and see and shed some light on some things in the muscle car world that you don't get to hear or read about every day. So if you appreciate that, again, like, subscribe, share, and tell your friends. But I'm Michael Muscar Syndicate. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook under the same name. Thank you for watching.